All right, everybody. The red dot says we're live, coming at you with this week's Oklahoma Home Loan Mortgage FAQ. This week, Tom Rosser with Gateway Mortgage, MLS number 273804, said for disclosure reasons, is going to go over different loan eligibility requirements with everybody. That way, they become more familiar with the reasons that the requests are made that are requests. Tom, thank you so much for joining us today, especially on your commute between appointments. Man, you go above and beyond. How are you doing this week?
This week has been great. I'm doing great this week. I had a cheer competition in Tulsa, and my daughter and her team did well. At work, it's going well. We hosted a down payment assistance class yesterday. That was a lot of great information, and it was well attended. Um, yeah, doing great this week. Josh, how are you this week?
That's super exciting. I have no complaints. As always, the channel traffic is picking up. We're getting more phone calls in. We're going into the buyer season, and I'm just blessed every day. I pray every day we don't go into World War III. That's my biggest concern.
That was the front page of the paper I read this morning.
Yeah, we got to pray for our leaders. We got to pray for level heads. We got to pray for peace worldwide. So, without getting into all that stuff, Tom, loan eligibility is today's talking points. Loan eligibility is what today's video is all about when it comes to Oklahoma home loan FAQs. What can you tell us about the first thing that people come up on a search when you're checking loan eligibility? Credit scores. Do they matter? What are they? Et cetera, et cetera.
Josh, credit scores matter. What are they? Lots of people you'll hear called a FICO score, right? FICO score. Um, Essentially, if we pull credit, we pull what's called a tri-merge credit report. It's from the tri-merge is the three major credit bureaus: TransUnion, Equifax, and we use the middle score of those three. So if you have a 700, a 710, and a 690, we would look at a 700 credit score if we're looking at just score.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for that. Going over credit score and credit score requirements. Are there any requirements on the credit score?
Well, so on some loan programs, you have to have credit depth as well. There's many ways to get just a score and not have any depth, or you could have a score and not have any recent depth. And when I say depth, I mean open accounts that you're actively using. So a credit card, a car payment, it could be a student loan. And so if you've done all that and then you gain a score, sometimes you'll be required to have active credit depth.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you.
That's really, yeah. That's
Okay,
getting deep
perfect.
into credit requirements.
Right. And we just want to give people a general overview. If they want to reach out to you guys, give Tom's office a call at 405 751 3800. 405 751 3800. They could go into it deep with you about that. And I'm not trying to steal your taglines, Tom. I know you're driving, so I'm trying to make this as easy as possible. And the audience and I really appreciate you taking time while you're in between appointments to do this with us. Loan eligibility income and employment verification is another item that comes up when you're talking about loan eligibility, income and employment verification. What is that? What do
Yes.
consumers need to know about it?
Olivia,
Right there, Tom.
Josh. Hang on just a second.
Right there, sir. Right there, loud and clear. I really appreciate you doing this for us. We still see you. We still see you, sir.
Can you hear
Right there.
Hey,
Yes, sir.
we're back up.
Okay, right there. Yes, sir. We still see you. Thank you so much for taking time out to do this for us.
Yeah. Okay, so we were talking income verification.
Income and employment verification. Yes, sir. Don't worry, guys. We'll just wait for Tom to come back. Don't worry. Well, there he is. Safety first. No matter what, Tom. Safety first. That's the main thing.
Can you see me?
No,
Can you see me?
no, not yet, sir. Yes, right there. Yes, sir. Right there. We see you, sir. Yes, sir. We see you. Thumbs up.
Okay, income
Yep.
and income verification. On income verification, it really just depends on the type of income. There's what we would kind of sometimes consider easy income, which would be a salary, right? Salaried income would be easy income to prove. It's stable. It happens all the time, right? Usually on an income like that, to verify it, we would need a recent W-2 and a pay stub. Or we can always get what's called a written verification of employment, and we, it kind of requires your employer some time from your employer, so we can avoid that a lot of times as well. Self-employment's always a hot topic, right? We talk self-employment all day long, Josh. Self-employment is another one that's fun to verify. You're using tax returns, and we're using taxable income. There's some things you can add back into self-employed income, but what I would tell you on income and income verification is apply for a loan, provide all the income documents as quickly as you can so that your income can be verified and be done on day one. Maybe if it's super complicated, on day 2 or day 3, right? But get it all out of the way. Go shopping for homes after income is verified.
Thank you so much. That's super helpful, Tom. Really appreciate that. Down payment loan eligibility. What are the things that people need to know when it comes to loan eligibility, the down payment part of it?
Okay, so all the different loan programs are going to have different down payment requirements. So you think of no down payment loans, and the first two that come to my mind would be VA loans, right? Home Loans to Veterans, great loan program. The second one would be USDA loans, which are rural areas, great loan program there as well. And then you get into the low down payment programs, right? There's a great Native American program that's 2.25% is the down payment requirement. There's some
Wow.
conventional loan programs that start at 3% down, and then FHA is traditionally, it's always 3.5% down, or has been for a long time. But down
Wow.
payment is a huge factor in eligibility.
Okay, so that's something big. Call Tom Rosser's office, 405-751-3800 for more detailed information on that. And filling out the loan application is the first place to start. Is that right, Tom?
Yeah, call us. We'll get you to place to apply, and then we document, and then hopefully it's approval and go look for homes.
Okay, the documentation part of loan eligibility, we've kind of touched base on that briefly, but I guess once you get under contract and once the underwriter starts reaching out to everybody, what type of documentation does a future purchaser, future homeowner need to know, future borrower need to know about documentation?
Well, so again, I want to do that before you're under contract. I want to do that
Okay.
like within the first couple of days of your application. So let's say you're applying and wife works at Quick Trip, or wife works at Quick Trip, husband works at a school as a teacher, right? And so it's W-2'd, it's salaried. They're easy income. I would say, hey, send me a pay stub, send me a W-2, let me calculate your income, and we'd have it verified. At that point, we'd say, go look for a home. and then save your pay stubs, right? Because we may have to update them once you find a house. It would be the same thing really on all of the employment. We want all employment verification. We would love to do it up front. You don't want to run into trouble after you found a home, after you're under contract. You want your income verified up front. So we say, go through the application process. We call you, we will review the application, and then we let you know what documentation we're going to require.
Okay, and documentation that you require, that would also be 2 months bank statements, the W-2s. It'd be, what if they have investments, like they have 10, whatever the investments are, the 10,
Well, so
thing.
what we're combining, and I don't know if this is on our list of stuff to cover, but asset documentation versus income documentation. And
Okay.
then, okay, so asset documentation is very important as well, and can help with approval. So jump into asset documentation. A lot of times it's 2 months bank statements, right? Some programs it's 60 days, get us 2 months bank statements and document any large deposit on those 2 months bank statements. So a large deposit is most of the time, well, depending on loan program, can be 50% of income, anything over 50% of income. But on large deposit, we also, underwriter has discretion to ask about any large deposit that's not, any abnormal deposit.
This
Go ahead.
This time of the year, people are getting their tax returns back. Is that something that they need to be aware of to document?
Yeah, I mean, just to make things easier, yes, because if that's a large deposit, it usually comes in as an IRS refund, right? It'll read on the bank statement, so we should know what it is. But occasionally they'll say, "Hey, get us that document to show that refund amount."
Okay, what if someone
any large deposit?
Okay, yes, sir.
Same thing. Solely selling the car can be fun to document. If you sell a car, you have to prove that you owned it. You have to show the transfer of it. Oh, you have to show something else. There's 3 things that we need when you sell a car, but maybe it's the check that you got or the deposit that you got when you sold it.
I really appreciate this, Tom, and yes, sir. Sorry.
Well, so what we do is we'll say, if it's a program that we need 2 months, we'll say, hey, send us 2 months bank statements. Send us, and we're doing asset and income at the same time, we'll say, send us a pay stub and a W-2. And if there's anything that doesn't look or doesn't add up right then, we'll ask you right then. We'll say, hey, on this bank statement, there's this deposit and this deposit and this deposit. What were those 3 things? So again, we want to get that out of the way up front as much as we can up front.
And guys, this is something that any lender is going to have to go through, because when they sell the loan on the secondary market, it's not anything that you're getting beat up over. It's something that you have to document so that when they sell the loan on the secondary market, they can sell it to that investor and have all the needed documentation that's required, especially if it's a federally backed loan. Is that right, Tom, or am I talking out of my rear?
Nope, that all makes sense to me.
Okay.
But yeah,
2 more things.
we have a clear box that we have in it. How to document income is really clear. How to document assets is really clear. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Tom. 2 more things, and I'll let you go. I really, really appreciate your time. Common loan eligibility pitfalls. What are things that consumers need to know that would cause them to mess up the process?
Changing jobs is a big one, right? All the do's and don'ts that we have while you're buying a house. Financing things, right? Adding to your debt load, which impacts your ability to pay your mortgage. Doing that between application and finding a house can impact your approval. I mean, the obvious one would, if your income is changing, right? If you change income, change jobs, that impacts approval. Down payment, we spoke about, assets is going to impact approval. So, a lot of times if you have something that you don't get approval on with 5% down, and you can show that, hey, we're going to change that to 10% down, you've got a better chance of getting an approval.
Okay, so do not change jobs. Unless you verify you can with Tom. Don't change jobs. Don't go finance home furniture. Don't do anything to change your current assets. Don't go buy a new car unless you've talked to Tom and he said it's okay. Don't finance a new car. Don't buy a new car for cash. Don't change jobs. Don't go finance new furniture for the new house yet from application until you close. Is that right?
Yeah, I think you covered all of them plus some. Yes, but yes, let's do them all.
Okay, last thing, Tom, and then we'll let you go. Thank you so much for your time today. Practical loan eligibility tips. Are there any tips that you could give the consumers that we haven't already discussed? This is sort of like a summary item. What are some tips that consumers should do when it comes to loan eligibility?
Reduce debt is always a good one, right? Have limited debt will help your eligibility on a loan. Good credit's going to help your eligibility on a loan. Having skin in the game, having a down payment will help your eligibility on a loan. I mean, those are the three major things, right? Eligible for your eligibility for a loan. Credit, you pay people back all the time. Yes, I have a down payment. I have some interest, and then my income, right? I have the ability to pay back the loan.
Awesome, Tom. When it comes to income, should they get a second job? Will that help any, or does that second job have to be there for 2 years before it even counts?
Second job, most of the time, it needs to be there for 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, to count. Yeah. You got to show the ability to carry the second job for a period of time.
Man, Tom, I cannot tell you guys, you don't know how far out of the way Tom goes to make these meetings. Tom, thank you so much for bringing all this great information to Oklahoma home buyers who are seeking out mortgage information. I've got your information up on the screen. If you want to shout it out real quick too, you can, or if that's it for the day, get back on the road. Thank you so much for your time.
Hey, call us with any questions. We would love to be a resource for you. We would love to help. You can reach us 405-751-3800. Josh, thank you, man.
All right, man. Drive safe. Thank you for everything. See you next week.
See ya.